Hey, how's it going? It's Corey with Ellis Concrete Coatings here. Um, just wanted to hit on some points and talk about the new app that's coming out. This new inventory app that we've been developing, working on for the past, I guess, about 8 months now. It's awesome. It's going to be great. I can't wait to be able to show you guys what this thing's going to do. Um, we are wanting to be able to take your inventory management to a point that you feel confident and reliable and consistent and be able to bring reliability to not only your customers and your clients and their install dates, be able to bring reliability to your installers to be able to actually know what to take every single time, so you're not having to run around and take a material. We want to make sure that you don't feel like you have to constantly um, call Valence. Hey, do you guys have this? Because we're not going to make it, and now I've got to drive across the country and go get my material or pay to have it overnighted. All of these things are tremendously expensive. They absorb way too much of your time. They just, if you could avoid all of it, that's what we're here for. We want to make sure that you can be um, running your company in a manner that is firing on all cylinders. You need to be able to focus on marketing and leads and generating more business, and you need to be focusing on training your team to be able to do a fantastic job. And if you're worried about your inventory, and it's just another point that it's just like some of us can do it, some of us can't do it. Um, I mean, that's the honest truth. If you could take that stress off of your shoulders, um, it would be nice if there was a system that existed. Well, the good news is now it does. Um, we've been developing this for the last, like I said, about 8 months. I actually started my first build of it realistically in 2020, and I've been using that build successfully. The only difference is now we've taken what I built that really could only be used individually for a company, and we have developed it. I've got a significant investment put into this because I do believe in this system and I do believe it's going to work. Um, I it's incredible. Okay, so what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to have access to be able to teach anyone in your organization to manage inventory, create orders. Everyone should be able to know how, following a few simple rules, how to actually be able to predict what material needs to be taken, what speed, what color. We're going to take the stress out of all of that. And I'm so happy to be able to share this with you. So I apologize about the noise. If you can hear it in the background, my dog is on my bed sleeping, um, and she's my baby, so she's not going anywhere. So if you hear that, that's what that is. But what we've got is I've got a few things to address, and I want to go over these with you as to why this system is going to bring value to you and your company. Um, if you've ever had to scramble to find product last minute because either you ran short or you misfigured or miscalculated, you thought you had enough. If you've had to drive cross country, if you've had to overnight product, you do these things, then using this system realistically has more than paid for itself already, right? So um, it's we had some questions at the mastermind. You know, what kind of payment is it going to be? Like a one-time payment, or is it going to be a subscription type payment? It's going to be a month-to-month subscription-based payment. That way, if you use it and you're getting in there and you're using it, if you get to the point where when you stop, we can just stop the subscription. However, part of the reason that it's going to be paid for that way is because we're going to actually continue to keep adding in um, more ways to be able to help you and your company be able to manage your inventory, which is we've got some really cool ideas. Plus, if you guys have any ideas as you're using it, you want to submit them. If it looks like something that's feasible, I would love to be able to implement it and make this system so powerful that it we want to free up your time running Running a business is extremely time consuming. We didn't get into it to work 100 hours a week, yet we get caught up in that, right? So anything that can help free up your time, but at the same time increase dependability and reliability within your company so that you can have a better handle on generating good reviews. People want to work with you because you're always on top of everything. That's exactly what we're trying to hit here. So let's get into a few of these questions, and I want you to think about these questions, and I want you to think, if this has ever happened to you, or if this sounds like something that could benefit you, then we'll go into future videos showing you how to utilize the system, but this system will be for you if you answer yes to any of these questions. We already talked about the one. Have you ever had to scramble across to go get materials to complete a job, either from another dealer or actually reach out to the staff at Valence? Hey, I'm headed your way. Are we going to be able to make this deadline? Because my customer has a deadline and it has to happen this way. And if I screw this up, it's going to be bad, right? So we want to be able to take care of our customers and come through on those promises. Have you ever had the opportunity where you had a Thursday or Friday open later in the week and you wanted to fill that so you could keep your installers busy, right? They've got bills to pay. You want to keep them busy, and your salesperson's out, or you're the salesperson, you're out, and you're like, man, I don't know if we can sell this job to fill that date. Will we have enough material to make it happen? Well, how nice would it be to be able to step out to your car, log into your system? Let me go check on that for you. You go out there, you log into the system, you check it, you input the data, you put the date on it so that it readjusts everything in order, and now you've got a very strong way of being able to say, yes, we can absolutely do that, and I can get, I've got enough material to get through the jobs for the next 2 weeks. Boom. You've already been able to pay for the system yet again. Why? Because you were able to sell more jobs. Okay. Do you only have one person in your organization that can actually do inventory? Like there's only one person that knows how to break down all the jobs. They know how to figure all the materials, and you rely on that person, whether it's you or it's somebody else that's within your organization, and you have to depend on them because maybe you don't know how to do it. Well, this is going to be able to make it to where, again, with a little bit of training, we can actually teach anybody in your organization how to manage inventory, how to create orders, and how to submit those orders. So if it's you and it's just one more thing that you've got to deal with all the time, now you're going to be able to have the control to be able to place that with a little bit of training and a little bit of oversight, and they're going to be able to take care of your inventory for you. I mean, how powerful is that, right? What if you have one person that you're relying on to do that? What happens if they get sick? What happens if they get hurt? What happens if, for whatever reason, they either quit, or on the other hand, what happens if they are kind of a cancer in your organization and you really want to be able to let them go, but because they're the only person that knows how to figure these things out reliably, you keep them on just because? I mean, let's purge that cancer from our organizations. Let's make this so that we have control of our business, right? You can count on your supplier. You can count on Valence to help you out, to know what you need to order per job. But they don't know what you have in inventory. They don't know what jobs are on the books. They can only figure out the amount of material for that specific job, and then you can order like a kit, right? If you're ordering a kit, then you're going to have sometimes overages. Sometimes the weather's going to change. You want to be able to take control of this in a manner, because in the end, it is your business. You are in control. You're the one that's responsible for your business, your reputation, and the promises you've made to your clients. Don't get it to a point where you're not having to rely on someone else to be able to make that happen, right? You should be able to have control of your business. Have you ever had crews that run short of material in the middle of a job, either because you didn't have it or because it was at the shop and they didn't have enough material on the rig to be able to get through it. Okay, if they get halfway through base coat and for whatever reason they're like, oh, we don't have enough to finish it. Like, this is a tremendous problem, right? You don't want to have that happen ever. You want to have reliability, because if you get halfway through base or you get halfway through top coat, this creates a tremendous amount of issues. One, the worst could be whatever happened, everything that you've got invested up to that point, labor, fuel, materials, everything that you've got invested in it, maybe you have to start this job over to be able to make it finish out the way that it needs to finish out without creating a kind of a crappy floor, right? You need that to happen. So instead of having to waste time jumping through hoops, maybe you have the material at your office or your garage or wherever you store your material. Maybe it's already there. And to keep them from failing, maybe you're on your way to a sales appointment and you've got to stop what you're doing, reschedule that sales appointment, drive back to the office, grab the material, run it out to the job just to be able to fulfill the promise of the install. Well, now you've already lost. You've already failed on one promise because you had to reschedule the appointment that you had with a client. Maybe that puts in some doubt. Maybe you don't get that job specifically because you've had to call and reschedule. Why would you want to have to deal with these sorts of things if your crews can have all of their material and they can go get these jobs done and they can do it reliably, and there's a system in place that allows them to do that? That's just powerful, right? We're already saving money. We're already increasing our reliability. We're reducing our stress. That is the whole point of this system. All right, a couple more questions. Do you even know how to figure materials? And if you do know how to figure materials for a job, have you ever sat down and done this manually? Pen and paper, pencil and paper, calculator, whatever. You're sitting down, you've got to break down how many square foot you have to install. You've got your square footage, you've got your verticals, different options. You've got, man, what am I going to do about my flake goes for a certain square footage of coverage, right? For a 40-pound box. My base coat goes for a certain square footage, and it's got to be broken down. And we all love base coat because with it being a 2-to-1 ratio, not only do you have to figure out how many total gallons that you need, then you have to break that down into, I need this much of part A, I need this much of part B. What color of base coat am I using? What speed of base coat am I using? Then, once you get that figured out, now you've got to figure out how much top coat do I need. Yet again, another per square foot ratio coverage, and then it's got a different ratio. So there's so many opportunities that you could actually sadly screw this up. And you don't want to screw this up, right? Because what's that going to do? It's going to cost you money and time. So you want to be able to figure out all these things. And then once you get through with that, now you've got all the other jobs that you've sold that need to be broken down, and they need to be broken down correctly and accurately. And then you take all of that. Now you need to know how much to order. How much do I order of winter gray UBC? How much do I order of summer gray UBC? How much do I order of tropical gray UBC? We haven't even gotten into the part B yet. You have to go across the board. Maybe you're simplifying your orders and you're just ordering all summer because you don't really know what you need and when. Maybe if you're only ordering all summer and the temperature drops, that's turning that 1-day job into a 2-day job. You see how all this costs you money? It costs you money, it costs you time. You're going to have to reschedule jobs around it because you didn't have the right materials. Our system is designed to simplify all of this. It's going to simplify showing your installers what they need to be able to take the right amount of material to a job. It's going to simplify so that you can have realistically anyone in your organization be able to learn and manage inventory and to be able to create very accurate and specific orders so that you can stay ahead of the push, minimize the capital that you're investing, instead of just, we all know that there's a lot of people out there that just to stay ahead of the curve, they're having to order an excessive amount of the different base coats and the top coats and all of these things at different speeds just to be able to make sure they've got enough. Well, what happens when you've got all of that capital invested into material, and then now you've got to buy new equipment because something happens, or you've got to get something repaired, and there's that struggle of always having enough capital. We want you to be able to maximize where you're going with your capital and your timing, so that you can actually make the most out of it so you can be successful. We've got a portion of it that maximizes so that you can have an understanding of how much, like how many things can fit on a pallet. Well, if you maximize how much you put on each pallet, you're going to minimize how much shipping you're actually paying per individual item. Okay, saving you money. We've got this system set up to where you can work with flake, you can work with quartz, you can work with shop floor systems, you can work with sealers. Basically, it's set up to be able to break down any system that needs to mix chemicals in order to, based on a per square foot usage and how much you need. We can customize, and it will be customized for each and every dealer. Whenever we get this set up for each dealer, it's going to be able to be set up specifically for you. So it's got your colors, your options. Across the country, there's multiple different hardnesses of concrete. Some people need to use more base coat than others. The system can be set up to where you can already figure in your overage for that so that you make sure that you constantly have enough. It's a fantastic system. We all know that sitting down and figuring out how to order your materials is a pain. It takes a lot of time, and whoever is doing it is probably, again, the only person in your organization that actually knows how to do it. Take back the control. Be able to use a system that's going to be able to allow you to have pretty much anyone in the system. If somebody quits, gets hurt, gets fired, whatever, family emergency, to be able to have multiple people trained to be able to utilize this system so that you just keep moving forward without skipping a beat. That's really what it's all about, right? Let's talk about some tougher questions. When have you ever had to actually take and stop and do inventory in the middle of your day when you weren't planning for it, just to be able to make a sale? Okay, what were you doing in that time that you could have been using that time for something else? Were you on the way to the golf course? Were you on the way to one of your kids' events? Were you doing something with your family? Were you finally going to have a couple of hours that you were actually going to get to just breathe? Okay, these things are super important. We don't want to miss our kids' events. We don't want to miss the opportunity to have fun. We want to be able to take control of our time, and we want to be able to utilize that. So if we had to stop in the middle of what we were doing and run material to a job, if we had to stop in the middle of what we were doing, rearrange our entire schedule to drive to go pick up that material from somebody else, these are all things that are not only, they mess up your schedule, they screw with your time, but they're also messing with money, tremendous amounts of money. How much does it cost to go drive over there? How many missed opportunities did you have while you were driving over there because you weren't able to take the phone calls, you weren't able to schedule more sales appointments because you knew you were going to be gone? These things happen. We've got a system. It's going to help you tremendously. It's going to, once you see how this thing works, it's going to look so simple on y'all's user interfaces that you're going to be like, really, this is it? But I'm not kidding you. The amount of work that's going in on the back end, the amount of work that we put in to get it set up specifically for your company so that you can utilize this thing in a manner that's going to be so powerful for you. Oh, I'm telling you, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. It has helped us tremendously. My initial build My initial build of this program was not user friendly in the manner of I couldn't share it with other people because it would break and I would have to fix it. This build that we have currently is a web-based app. It is I have been running it through the ringer to make sure that it's going to be reliable for you guys, and it is fantastic. It has way more tools than what my original build had, like the installer interface to where they can go in and you can assign crews. So the crews only see the jobs they're going to be working on. It shows them how much they need to take and what they need to take, what the area is, any notes that you've got to put in there. There's so much, and we're going to be releasing more videos from this point forward actually showing the app and the program. This particular video was specifically just to introduce you to what this can do for you, how it can save you time, how it can increase your reliability. We want to be known as the companies that fulfill our promises, and no matter, we're like ducks on the water. We're just calm and collective above the water, and our feet are running 90 miles an hour underneath. But use this. Ask me any questions. Submit any forms. Whatever you want to do, reach out, talk to me. I'll help answer any questions regarding this program. But I'm telling you, it's awesome. It's going to save you tremendously more money and time than what it cost, which makes it a fantastic value for you and your organization. It's going to bring, again, reliability. I love reliability. The one thing that I can't stand is not being able to follow through with a promise that I've made to one of my clients, or that I've made to my wife, or that I've made for my kids. I want to be able to be as reliable as I can as a father, as a friend, as a husband, as a business owner. So having a system like this, man, it brings so much power back to your life. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get some more videos up. If you have any questions or comments, drop them below. Love to talk about it. I'm telling you, this is going to change your life. I know that sounds dramatic, but in this industry specifically, this is going to change your life. Nothing like this has existed before. And we are coming from the experience of myself within the industry, I know how this stuff works. If you want to reach out to Pete or Kylie or anyone like that, is this guy a madman, right? Does he really know what he's talking about? They'll back it up. They know. I've been involved with them for certain particulars of the application. How is this going to help your clients? We want to be able to have something that's just going to blow your mind. And once you see this system work, like I said, it's tremendous. It's going to be set up specifically for your companies. And if you decide to go into new colors or new applications later in line, you reach out to us, we get them set up, get them added in, boom, it just goes right in. Okay. If you have customers that, man, these customers need last minute, they've got to be rescheduled, they've got to move to a different time, go in there, adjust the install date, it'll recalculate everything. You don't have to do anything. It'll automatically update so that you can just move on with your life, and you've got instant results on where you are, when you need to order material, when you need to have it received by, to keep pushing forward. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I know we didn't show anything on the actual program yet, but this is everything that it's going to do for your life. Okay. So I'll start getting to work on those videos so that we can bring that information to you. If you have questions, reach out to me. I can't wait to get this thing rocking and rolling for you. It's going to change your life. It's freed up so much time for me. On average, I would say for a one crew owner operator sort of business, this is going to save easily 20 hours a month. That's going to be 240 hours a year. That's 10 days. 10 days you're going to get back simply by being able to utilize something that's going to take all of that time off your plate. Anyway, appreciate you watching. Thanks for the time. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I will be getting those other videos out very soon. Hopefully we'll have the first one out later on today. But again, If you want to see some screenshots of it, fortifyrs.com, FORTIFYRS.com. It's got some screenshots up there of what the program looks like for now. It's got a information request form you can fill out, reach out to me, and I've already got several submissions for that, and I'm going to be reaching out to people this week so we can start getting people onboarded and utilizing the system. Thanks again. Have a great day.